everybody's fired up about being back in Milwaukee for the first time, Adam, since 2009.
Remember, the 98 will take the green flag from the back, and then the next lap he will come in to do a pass-through penalty.
And he hopes that's the end of his penalties, but NASCAR will look at what they did to that right rear wheel and see if there's more penalties to come. We'll be updating that throughout the week.
Enfinger, first pole of the year, takes the outside lane to start this race instead of going inside. Sanchez to his left. 175 laps, 175 miles. Another step toward the championship. Off we go at the Milwaukee Mile.
Great start for Grant.
Able to parlay that outside starting position to grab that lead.
And keep your eye on the 17 truck of Taylor Gray. Yesterday in the long run, he had the fastest truck. Oh, a little bit of a bump there.
That white truck is Christian Eckes, the 19. He's another truck that was really good on average during that practice yesterday. How about battle for the lead?
Sanchez trying to take control in that inside lane. Side by side off of turn 2. Left of your screen, Ty Majeski serving that pass-through penalty. And keep an eye on him as he exits pit road, and where does he fit in? Does he go a lap down, and if so, how far back in the pack will he be?
I think he's going to stay on the lead lap, guys.
I think so too.
He's coming off turn 2 now, and the lead pack just getting to the start-finish line. Hugely beneficial for Ty Majeski.
I really felt like he's going to need an early caution to get the free pass, get back on the lead lap. The fact that he stays on the lead lap and he's got this kind of an advantage over the leaders puts him in a pretty good position here.
And now we'll just watch his lap times, Adam, and we'll break down what kind of shot he has at winning this race. You can see there, clear track ahead of him, just like our battle for the lead. They have an open track ahead of them. So we'll take a look at these lap times and let you know how fast that number 98 is.
I'll say this, he'd still take that early caution. It would help him a lot, even though he doesn't need it to get the free pass here.
Yeah, the guys told me it took about 17.5 seconds to roll down pit road. So they're lapping this track at around 31 seconds. So he did a very economical job getting to pit road, down pit road, and off pit road.
When you see Majeski in the pylon, he'll be highlighted in green. That's because he won IRP, the playoff opener. He's already advanced to the round of 8. The other 9 drivers you see highlighted in gold, they're playoff contenders, and their outcome here today will go a long way in deciding where they fit into the equation when we hit that elimination race 2 weeks from now at Kansas Speedway. Down to Amanda.
Adam, I talked to Ty Majeski about that drive-through prior to the race, and he thought that he might rejoin the track amongst the leaders, so he's going to be happy to see all that clean air ahead of him. And as you said, he is locked into this next round in 8, and that's why he said, you know, I'm not really worried. I'm happy that if this had to happen, it was going to be right here at this race, the second race of the playoff. He is locked in, guys.
But we've talked so much about what he did in the regular season finale at Richmond. Dominates, gets a speeding penalty, put back in the pack. He drove straight through the field, Michael. So this is a team that understands overcoming a problem, and he did that at the end of stage 2. By starting behind the 8 ball this early, it gives them a huge opportunity and plenty of time to get back in this race.
Yeah, fast truck, though. 3rd fastest truck that lap on the racetrack. He's been consistently in the top 5 each lap since he's been back on the racetrack.
And he knows this track. He raced here earlier this year.
He won.
I know, and he's got so much experience here, understands it. That means, to me, a really good long-run truck because he knows what he's looking for. A lot of these guys have never raced here before. Some of them are only 6 years old last time we raced here. So the trucks are really interesting to see who's able to figure out what kind of setup it's going to take to be successful.
Had that nice battle for the lead to start out, but Sanchez has fallen in line behind Enfinger, 0.7 of a second behind. Gray continues in 3rd. That's Taylor Gray, the rookie, and then 3 playoff drivers behind him: Eckes, Hocevar, and Corey Hine.
The only playoff driver we have. Ooh, great battle here. There's Daniel Dye, Bailey Curry, the 41, Daniel in the 43. Matt Crafton, our playoff driver, coming to the inside of Daniel. Matt DiBenedetto had to go to the back of the pack for unapproved adjustments, so he's back on the 25th spot. He's our only playoff driver outside the top 20.
What's that on the back of the 41 truck of Bailey Curry's?
I think he's made contact with somebody, hasn't he?
Is that just a decal or is there
no,
damage?
there's damage there. That's the rear bumper cover that's being ripped apart. That's basically a fiberglass piece.
I'd say we'll see a little more of that today. Sometimes you've got to get a little bit aggressive if you're going to move around someone on track here at Milwaukee.
Worldwide Express on that number 41 truck. Such a great partner to the NASCAR world. Sponsoring Carson Hocevar occasionally. Some cup races with
Ross,
Suarez. What a fun night it was last night in Daytona, huh?
Man, oh man.
Season finale was right on point.
Chris Buescher, he's pretty good. Won 3 of the last 5. Here it's the Grant Enfinger Show, leading 10 laps in. How's that? 13 laps in. It's the Clean Harbors 175 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series live at the Milwaukee Mile. First caution of the afternoon. And unfortunately, it's for a Wisconsin-born driver, not this one. Ty Majeski making a pit stop.
Minor adjustment there on the 98 truck. Was last anyway, and it's just a good way to get ahead of whatever adjustments he thinks he might need.
What I heard on the radio, what I heard on the radio, guys, is that they were wanted the truck a little more tight, so they took a round out of that right rear and made some track board adjustments and a little top off of fuel.
There he goes, back on the track. I like that adjustment, Phil. Just get ahead of this truck.
Now let's get to the other Wisconsin driver who brought out our first caution of the afternoon, Josh Bilicki.
Josh had something go down on the right front, whether it was what caused the wreck or after he hit the wall, but the team has been working on it.
Yeah, it was definitely flat. It's down now. It's flat going in the corner. Tough break for that Tyler Young team. Insurance skiing on board for Josh Bilicki. Was about 30 miles away or something Josh is from.
Yep.
Certainly that area.
That almost looked like the tire maybe rubbed a tie rod or part of the suspension and just went flat that soon in the race, and right into the outside wall he went.
Yeah, there it is right there. Obviously seen better days.
Good road racer is Josh Bilicki. And we talk about the fact that he's from here in Wisconsin. His first ever NASCAR start in the Xfinity Series at Road America over in Elkhart Lake. Looked at the entry list, saw one of the teams didn't have a driver, made some phone calls, said, I'll drive your car for you. And that is how he got his first opportunity and made his NASCAR debut. And now he's raced in all 3 series, Cup, Xfinity, and of course right here in the Craftsman Truck Series.
That's got to be disappointing. Home game, you get your buddies to come out and watch you race a little bit and only run 10 laps, and it's all done into the outside wall.
You know, when you look at the history of this racetrack for the trucks, the drivers that have won here, really a who's who of success, mainly in the Craftsman Truck Series. But Kurt Busch won here in 2000. Yes, he was good in the trucks, but he's been great across the board. Let's go back and look at his win here 23 years ago.
Yeah, 11 of our 15 races were won by champions. Kurt was not one of those because he was not a Truck Series champion. He finished second points his rookie year. Look how young Kurt was back in I guess we're all younger back in 2000, but what an amazing career that Kurt Busch has had.
Yeah, it's just a great driver. He's one of those guys that no matter where he went, he made the team he went to drive for better. And that's what he'll always be known for, his passion, his heart, the wins, obviously, across all 3 top series. And the 2017 Daytona 500 champion, NASCAR champion, a legend is Kurt Busch. And he's still in the garage area with his Monster Energy hat on and his drink, just trying to help 2311, help anybody he can get better. That's what he's all about.
He won with every organization he drove for, right?
Announced his retirement yesterday, and I would say that probably is what's most impressive. I mean, the numbers are incredible, and Mike, you laid them out there. But the reality is he did it with so many different teams. It didn't matter what organization he was competing for. As you said, he made them better and took them to victory lane. And in some cases, won championships, and that was awesome for him.
He has a younger brother that's pretty good, too.
He's decent. I'd say both will be first ballot Hall of Famers.
Should be, absolutely 100%.
Hey, since we're taking a trip down memory lane, NASCAR 75, let's go back to 1995. First time the tailgaters paid a visit to the Milwaukee Mile.
Skinner's crew had told him, say, hey, back off, save those tires. Let that 30 truck go until near the end. It looks like he might have saved those tires just enough. Here he comes.
Great job by Skinner.
Skinner will go a little bit high. Setzer will use that to get back on the inside again. Great racing.
Hey, boy, if they don't get into each other, this will be unbelievable. This is for the win.
2 laps to go.
This is the greatest truck race of the year, side by side. 2 to go, lap and a half almost now.
First, the truck race
Gets
like
high.
that. He gets loose. And here comes Skinner across the line. It will be Skinner.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Wow.
Standing ovation all around this racetrack for the NASCAR Super Truck.
Mike Skinner wins the first truck race here at the Milwaukee Mile, goes on to claim the championship 1995.
How about that all-star cast of announcers? Ken Squire and Ned Jarrett up in the booth, along with Kenny Wallace and Mike Joy on pit road. They're getting ready to interview Skinner.
Was that like an oh by the way, Kenny Wallace? Is that what that was? I don't know. Kenny always entertaining in the broadcast booth.
I like what we're seeing here today. We got Sanchez dropping to the bottom, giving that a whirl. We saw Enfinger make that work, but he had a side-by-side battle for 5 or 6 laps to make that work. Eck is strong again this week. That's good to see.
Restart's very entertaining in your ARCA broadcast earlier today.
They were, sure were. Jesse Love is so good on the restarts, and William Sawalich dominated that race. And obviously Williams are in the top 10 in this race, but just about every restart, Jesse Love was able to wrestle the lead away, and Sawalich had to get it back, and he did. There's Sawalich right there in the 1 truck.
On the restart, got 5 playoff drivers inside the top 6. Row 1, just like when we started the race, Enfinger and Sanchez. Back to the green flag.
Let's check on Tom Majeski's progress as we go through this run. He's going to restart 31st, guys. See how long it takes him to get up inside the top 20.
I think he's got a chance to get up possibly to the top 15 by the end of this stage. 38 laps to go.
I was going to ask, can he get some stage points here? Is it out of the realm of possibility that he could rally to the top 10?
I don't think he might need another caution, but I don't think it's out of the question. Is he going to go through the middle here?
Excuse me, fellows. Got a fast truck. Is it enough room there? that's tight. Look at that. Brett Holmes with a little bit of contact there on Majeski, and Majeski dives to the bottom on Lawless Allen.
I think the answer was no, there wasn't enough room, but he made it work.
Confidence not a problem for the 98 right now.
A couple of trucks ahead of him is another playoff driver, Matt DiBenedetto. We'll see what Matt's got. He went to the back at the start of this race. Hasn't made a lot of progress. This is a real test for Matt here. If he can't keep pace with Majeski, he's got issues today.
John Hangarani making his Truck Series debut, the 61 truck right there for Shiki Hattori. He had a top 5 finish earlier today in the ARCA Menards race. There he is right behind DiBenedetto on the Rackley Roofing truck.
And there's Haley Deegan just ahead of these racers in that 13 truck. She's 22nd right now as DiBenedetto sizes her up on the inside.
Comes Majeski on the outside. Look at that little spurt through the center of the corner and off turn 4 here. Matt's a veteran. He knows that Majeski's got that fast truck. No sense trying to hold him up. Maybe he can follow him up through there.
Gonna have to. Got to go to school and make that work. Yeah, what about Chase Purdy? Fast number 4 Bama Buggy's truck. Nice moves early. He's trying to battle up toward the top 5.
Qualified in the top 10. Did Chase Purdy. He stayed there. And just behind him, William Sawalich. We've talked so much about this young hot shoe out of Minnesota. Started 12th, but finds himself in the 8th position right now.
16 years old, Adam.
So impressive every time he comes out.
Yeah, he goes to the little the tight short tracks and is able to stand toe-to-toe with these veterans and run inside the top 10 week in and week out. Josh, what are they saying down there in the one pit?
Yeah, Phil, and that's the big thing. You guys talk about just the confidence this kid has, just 16 years old, but he said the transition into the trucks when it comes to these short tracks has been pretty seamless for him, to the point where he has conversations constantly with Corey Heim, and he provides some feedback and advice to Corey Heim, a guy that's been full-time in this series all year long. He felt good about his truck. He said the biggest thing going into this race, he has to up his aggression level from the ARCA race, and we're seeing that right now so far.
If you're going to grow, you got to put yourself in so many different situations. He's taken on all different types of racetracks, ARCA, trucks. He's seeing it all, and that is another stepping stone as he climbs the ladder in stock car racing. Grant Enfinger is your leader at Milwaukee. Sanchez, Taylor Gray, hosts of our Heim, the top 5. We're off and rolling here in Wisconsin. Craftsman Truck Series, racing at the Milwaukee Mile, Grant Enfinger. Great veteran, started on the pole, led every lap in control midway through our first stage of the afternoon. Sanchez is second. Taylor Gray, the rookie, hanging strong after getting his career best qualifying effort.
And there's Carson Hocevar in the 4th position. We figure he's going to be a part of this story before today's over. Week in and week out, he's one of the guys you have to beat in that 42 truck, and he's closing in on Taylor Gray.
Yeah, so many of these drivers really had no experience here at the Milwaukee Mile. He actually came up here Father's Day weekend and ran a super late model race, so he really felt like that was advantageous to him. We talked to him during our qualifying show today.
3 wins in a regular season. That was more than anyone. And when you look at what he's done really since the middle portion of May, just on an absolute roll, top 5 in 7 of the 9 races, and Michael said it so many times, the Cup start at St. Louis, the Xfinity experience across the board, his confidence really in a good place right now, and it's showing, and so is this guy, Corey Heim. You talk about a roll, give me 8 consecutive top 10s for the regular season champ.
He had led 0 laps in the first 6 races of the year. He has led races now in his last 10 races, led laps in the last 10 races that he's run. Remember, he missed a race due to an illness and still won the regular season point championship, right now running in the 5th spot.
Hocevar good in practice yesterday. Heim was as well. You could say the same about Christian Eckes. He's 6th in the running order. What about that 11, Amanda?
Well, Adam, he went back to that race that he missed at Gateway. Actually, the first track that he stepped onto after that was right here at Milwaukee. He spent 5 hours testing in a super late model to get his energy back, to get back in his mentality. But it was a pit stop here before we saw him again in Charlotte.
If you look at the pylon, Ty Majeski is blistering the field right now, going wherever he needs to go. From the back, a pass-through penalty to start the race to 14th. Incredible.
Chasing down our reigning champion, Zane Smith. Zane had a good truck in practice yesterday now, but outside the top 10, and right now is in Majeski's sights.
A tale of 2 tapes is Ty Majeski charging through the field, and unfortunately, another playoff contender, Matt DiBenedetto, he's going in the other direction. He started in the back, really hasn't gone anywhere, Adam. It's been a struggle for the 25 truck. They've got to get their stuff together, try to make some moves in this race. Would have been surprised with Zane, too. He's not going anywhere either in that 38 truck there, just ahead of Majeski.
Yeah, a lot of people in the garage area said that in practice yesterday that he had one of the best trucks. But now remember, they haven't had a chance to make any adjustments to these trucks. But how about Derek Kraus? Started back way back, I think in about the 25th position, 25th, and now battling for a top 10 run here. Good job early on for Derek Kraus, local driver.
What about this 7 truck? You put it on the track and it's going to have some pace to it. I think Derek was really frustrated with practice yesterday. Heard an interview where he said it just didn't go well. Today he's on it though.
Of course, Lane Riggs driving that 7 truck at IRP 2 weeks ago. Finished 3rd, his career best. That truck won earlier this season in dominating fashion at North Wilkesboro with Kyle Larson behind the wheel, so we know how fast it is.
Remember last year, William Byron dominated the race at Martinsville to get a grandfather clock in this 7 truck.
And I'll say this about Kraus, not a lot of opportunities this year, only his 2nd truck start. But if you go back to the springtime, those Dash for Cash races in the Xfinity Series, he had a chance to drive for Colleague Racing. First ever starts on the Xfinity side, netted a couple of top 10s. So he's been able to show off his driving talent this year with limited opportunities.
He's way faster than the 35 right now, but just hadn't been able to figure out how to make the move yet. That's as close as he's been right there. Can he dive bomb him into turn 1?
Yeah, I think he's going to get him. He is. He may slide up in front of him, take the air away, but good pass by Derek Kraus. Move him into 10th.
Another position here that Ty Majeski's trying to grab away from Zane. It's a pretty truck this week. Black and gold, number 38.
Yeah, birchgold.com. On the side of that truck, move Majeski up another spot to 13th. We've got 18 laps to go. I think he's going to get stage points. I think he's going to get all the way up into the top 10.
Less than 3 seconds behind Derek Kraus, who is in the 10th position right now.
I think Kraus is on the move, though. I think that truck might drive up even maybe near the top 5, as you see Daniel Dye there in the 43 truck. We started in the top 5, Amanda, but man, struggle so far from Double D.
Totally, yeah, it's the best start of his career. So, you know, Daniel behind that truck is a little bummed, but we're hearing that the truck is running on the left front splitter. Blake Bainbridge confirmed that that's exactly what they were seeing here from the pit box as well. So with 17 laps to go in this stage, Daniel Dye wants to see that quickly or a caution.
Yeah, you hate this for driver 43. Not only the great qualifying run, but 2 real good races here the last 2 years in ARCA competition. You felt like today might be his day, but sliding early is Daniel Dye. 16 laps to go. Stage number 1. It continues to be Grant Enfinger out front. It's so good to be back on the Milwaukee Mile. It's a good day to be Grant Enfinger. Start on the pole, dominate the race, and that's what he's done so far. It's the Clean Harbors 175 at the Milwaukee Mile for the Craftsman Truck Series with Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander. Amanda Busick on pit road with Josh Sims. Tell us about our race leader, Josh.
Yeah, Grant Enfinger felt really good about that truck going into the day. Now he's starting to be a little more concerned with that thing. He said he's struggling on entry. He wants a little help during the next pit stop, of course, but Grant Enfinger is a guy that we know GMS shutting down at the end of the season. He said teams can go one of 2 ways. They can kind of fold or they can stay focused. And he said my crew chief, Jeff Hensley, has never been more focused than he is right now, guys.
Great report, Sims. And I'll tell you about this 23 truck. His struggle right now is real. I know he's in lap traffic, but he just can't make the moves I think he wants to. And it's taking him some while to cut through this traffic. You see Daniel Dye is next on his list.
Inside of 10 laps to go in the first stage. 9 remaining now. Look at Taylor Gray working his way through lap traffic.
Saw the scoring pylon. Tom Majeski up to the 11th spot. Don't think he's going to be able to get up and get stage points. He's almost 5 seconds behind Derek Kraus, but nonetheless a great move by Tom Majeski. It has him back in contention for a win in this race.
And it's not as much a knock on Majeski as it is a celebration of what Kraus is doing. You guys said it, that 7 has been ridiculous today. Really, really fast is Kraus.
And look at our chicklets. You see Ty Majeski there, the fastest truck. He's up to the 11th position. Some really strong trucks, including Matt Mills in the 51. He's been among our top 5, and he's back in the 17th position. We saw him struggle in qualifying, felt like he had a good truck for the race, and that's the case. I love this. It just shows you the parity, how fast some of these trucks are that are back there fighting through traffic. There's that beautiful 51 truck for Mills.
Man, had such a great run in this truck at Richmond. Top 5 finishes, career best.
He's got top 5 speed today as well.
Majeski again, the fastest truck on the racetrack in 11th. We saw Matt DiBenedetto a few moments ago. He's already a lap down, and he's not in the free pass spot. So he's certainly going to have his work cut out for him.
That's a shame. That's a struggle for Matty D. There's another truck going a lap down, Stuart Friesen. We talked earlier in the qualifying show about the struggle bus he's been on for the last few weeks. Continues. Ferris mowers on the side of that 52 truck.
There's some trucks certainly in the grips of the 23 of Infinger that may go a lap down to keep Stewart. There's Hangarani right there. That could take Stuart Friesen out of the free pass spot if Grant's able to get by that 61.
Just ahead of Hangarani there, you see Brett Holmes in the 32 truck. He's 24th. Got 6 laps around this mile track. I think both these guys could be in jeopardy of losing a lap, and that's bad news for Friesen.
Hangarani was in that ARCA race earlier today. Battled a lot of the time with Grant Enfinger. Grant had never been here before, so he decided to try to run that ARCA Menards race, as we see
Derek Kraus down on the bottom, trying to
get by Ben Rose, trying to grab another spot, move him up to 9th.
That's got to be a great feeling for Kraus, just passing folks.
Started 25th, guys.
Charged all the way inside the top 10. Ben Rhodes slides up the track there a bit. Looks like Kraus is loose.
4 laps to go. Stage 1 at Milwaukee. Enfinger 3 seconds in front of Sanchez as he continues to maneuver through the lap traffic. And we're watching the battle for 9th. Got Ben Rhodes, Derek Kraus, and not too far behind them is Ty Majeski, who's trying to rally and get a stage point.
I don't think he's going to be able to make up those 20-some truck lengths he's behind that battle for the 10th spot.
The most important thing for him, I think, is he's back in it. He's in contention for the win of this race.
And they've been on pit road. They've made an adjustment. They know what that adjustment did to the truck, how it affected the handling of it. That'll give them more idea of how to adjust the truck when they come to pit road and get tires.
And they didn't waste a set of tires when they made that pit stop. So great work by that team.
You get a restart to pick up some positions. You could pick up some ground on pit road.
Bama Buggies, he's currently, Chase Purdy is 8th. And you can see it looks like finally Derek Kraus is going to get around Rhodes. He does.
Derek Kraus is not really racing for points, but he sure can take points away from somebody like Ben Rhodes.
And the points are big for Rhodes, who came in just above the playoff cut line as he tries to advance onto the round of 8. And he slides back to 10th.
Great battle with Chase Purdy in that 4-truck chase. That's really had a nice solid year for KBM.
Spencer Boyd there in the 12 truck, giving these guys a little bit of an obstacle to get around as they race toward the end of this first stage.
Final lap, opening stage at Milwaukee. What a drive it's been for Grant Enfinger. And what a battle we have from 8th on back. Here's Enfinger closing on his teammate Raja Caruth. Going to put him a lap down? Nope, doesn't look like he will. Stays in line. Opening stage, Grant Enfinger wins it at Milwaukee. Sanchez is 2nd. Taylor Gray 3rd. Heim gets Eckes for 4th. 5th for Eckes. Hocevar 6th. And the rest of the top 10, Sawalich, Kraus, Purdy, and Ben Rhodes. Majeski ends up 11th. 2nd stage win of the year for Enfinger. He also won at Gateway. That afternoon, he went on to win the race. Gotcha. Stage one in the books for the Craftsman Truck Series here in Milwaukee. Grant Enfinger dominates, leading every lap. Gets a playoff point, 10 stage points. Sanchez, good day. Heim, Eckes, Hocevar, Ben Rose, the others in the playoff category that got a nice payoff in regard to stage points in that opening stint of the race. And now the all-important trip down pit road, because track position is huge at Milwaukee.
And that was huge for Nick Sanchez, too. Came in here 2 points above that line that Michael likes to talk about so much.
Well, I'll tell you, that was huge for all those playoff guys that got those stage points. You want to bank those and put it behind you, and they did just that. 6 of them did.
Now it's time for pit stops, Amanda.
You're going to see that 98 making its way towards us. He told us ahead of this playoff season that our biggest competition in this playoff is going to be ourselves. Well, those changes that they made during that first pit stop must have been great, because look at him all the way up into the 11th spot. After that, just driving through the field, no chassis adjustments here, just tires and fuel. And as we go over to the 11 of Corey Heim, Scott Zipadelli told him there's going to be a big swing for you as he gets off of pit road. They made a major adjustment on the track bar to get some rear grip into that truck, Josh.
Trouble there for the two getting out of the pit stall. His biggest concern was he was struggling a bit laterally free in turn 3, and as far as the 23 of Grant Enfinger, he said he was starting to struggle a bit on entry and exit. They made a track bar and air pressure adjustment to help out your stage 1 winner, guys.
Great work for the 11 team, +3 for Corey Heim. He wins the race off pit road. Grant Enfinger to second.
Yeah, he was boxed in a bit, had to slowly get out of his pit box. A lot of action there. You could see the jack drop on Majeski's truck before the service was done.
Yeah, that's certainly going to hurt him. We showed Matt Mills in the race off pit road. Matt actually came down pit road before pit road opened. He will have to go to the back. Here's a pit stop for Majeski. As Michael said, watch that right side. Falls off the jack. Must not have had it all the way under there, or else somebody hit the handle, maybe the rear tire changer. That's going to cost him a bunch of positions, though.
This is our second caution of the day, ending stage 1. Sean Hangarani got the free pass. The restart when we come back for stage 2.
Yes, we did.
Getting lined up, ready to go for stage 2 here at the Milwaukee Mile, doing the choose. Corey Heim won the race off pit road, takes the outside lane for the restart.
And you can see coming to the choose here eventually will be Ty Majeski. He's made a couple of trips to the back and now one to the middle of the field. It's been quite the up and down day for that 98 truck.
Trouble on pit road. Majeski worked his way all the way up to the 11th spot when the caution came out, but here he comes. He's going to come down pit road. We talked about the fact that the truck fell off the jack. Then he's going to have another issue. It's already fallen off the jack, but you see the right front tire changer. Tell him Majeski he's got to turn the wheel to the left so he can get in there to get that wheel off.
That could have been a function of it falling off the jack. It just turned the wheel a little bit in his hands as that happened. Anyway, the result is he's back outside the top 20 as we're coming to the green.
Look at the numbers. The box score for him is going to be interesting at the end of the day.
Number of trucks passed maybe today.
Could break the record here at Milwaukee.
We'll start outside of Brett Holmes there in that 32 truck. Brett stayed on the lead lap during that first stage.
Hyman and Finger. Row 1 as we get it rolling. Stage 2 at Milwaukee.
Majeski with a little bit of push to the, Christian Eckes with a little bit of a push to the back of Corey Hine.
What about William Swalich up there in the top 3?
Quick caution, yellow is out.
Oh no, Brad Perez in that 30 truck.
Greg Van Alst, the 20 truck for Tyler Young.
That's pretty good contact for both those trucks.
And we already saw one of Tyler's trucks get a lot of damage with Josh Bilicki losing a right front tire. He's out of the race, and when the window net comes down for Greg Van Alst, he's going to be out as well. And I'm sure same situation for Brad Perez.
You can see Brad's got all 4 corners of that 30 truck torn up.
Early caution stage 1. Early caution in our second stage as well. AMR safety team is there checking things out on the 30 and 20 trucks. Let's go back to the restart, see what happened.
Oh, something went wrong with the
Van
20.
Alst, did he bounce off the inside wall possibly?
I don't know. It looked like maybe could the throttle have hung for a bit?
He shot across the racetrack. Maybe he bounced, misjudged it, bounced off the inside wall, or possibly forced into the inside wall, and it careened him out towards the outside of the racetrack.
Nothing Brad could have done there.
There's Greg Van Alst, our Daytona winner from earlier this year in the ARCA Menard Series. Amanda.
That's exactly what Brad Perez asked his crew chief what happened there. They reported that they think that Greg may have blown a tire and just kind of took him out. It's kind of a bummer for Brad. It's only his second ever start on an oval. I talked to him prior to the race. He's been spending a lot of time with Rajah Caruth. They've been trading information back and forth. Brad Perez, by trade, is a sports car driver, so he's been helping Rajah on the road courses, but looking to gain some knowledge here on the ovals will be a bummer for Brad Perez.
Seen Brad racing a little bit this year in the Xfinity Series as well. Third caution comes out. Restart stage 2. Perez, Van Alst done for the day. Corey Heim is your race leader. Saturday, it's baseball night in America on Fox. Bryce Harper and the Phillies clash with Christian Yelich and the Brewers in an NL showdown, or you get the Twins against Corey Seager and the Rangers. Catch every play Saturday night, 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area. And since we're talking Brewers leading the NL Central, there's their ballpark not too far away.
Yeah, been there for for a few games over the years.
American Family Field. They get some great crowds there, and we've got a good one here this afternoon.
Yeah, infield's full of race fans as well.
It's always popular. I'm not sure why we stopped coming here back after 2009.
I'm just glad we're back.
Me too.
Beautiful day. Lots of great race fans, and we're seeing some great action on the track.
In Milwaukee today, and the fun really just beginning when it comes to the playoffs and the Craftsman Truck Series. IRP goes to Ty Majeski. We stay in the Midwest this afternoon. From here, we're off to Kansas.
Well, still staying in the Midwest in Kansas, and then we're going to go south to Bristol.
What about the little Bristol Talladega combination? Does that scream NASCAR or what?
Wild card back to back.
They set the championship forward at the Homestead Miami Speedway, and then it's out west to run for the title in the desert on November 3rd, a Friday night at Phoenix.
I think we're going to fly, though, from Homestead to Phoenix. I don't think we're going to ride in the truck.
I'm not sure the three of us would get along making it from Bristol to Talladega, much less Miami to Phoenix.
We've tried a little bit of everything in this job. Weathered a few storms along the way and always have a good time talking about our trucks. See if we can get this second stage rolling. A little bit of trouble getting going here. Such a shame for Brad Perez and Greg Van Oss. That was a big crash into turn one.
Yeah, we looked at that during the commercial break, and it looked possibly maybe a throttle hung on Greg Van Oss's truck. When it did, then he locked the brakes up, and that just drove that truck straight into Brad Perez. Certainly nothing Brad could do about it, and then if the throttle hung, nothing Greg Van Oss could do about it.
Going to be 39 laps to go in stage 2 when we return to the green flag. Heim and Infinger on row 1. Eckes up there. How about William Sawalich inside of row 2 for the restart? The 16-year-old making his presence known.
How cool is that? 16 and up there contending for a win.
Hocevar Taylor Gray there as well.
Eckes with another bump to Corey Heim. Corey Heim out with the lead. Now side by side for second with Grant Infinger and Eckes.
Eckes said, I'll take me some of that outside lane. Nice move by Infinger to slide through, get to second as they come through turns 3 and 4.
Now Sawalich is going to try to move to the inside of Eckes in that battle for third.
Whoa, he drove her down in there, didn't he?
Sure did.
That thing's going to stick, too. It's a strong move by the one truck.
Not going to be able to clear Eckes, though. Eckes is going to fight back on the outside. Good battling here.
Certainly is. All the way back through the top 10. Side by side are several trucks. 3 wide.
Wow.
I don't have a great feeling about 3 wide.
That's Majeski on the outside of that. No, that's Connor Jones. That's Connor Jones in the 66.
Oh, Stewart up in front of Jake Garcia had to check up on the gas. There's Matty D trying to get a lap back.
Right now, Stuart Freeze in the red 52 Ferris truck is the lead truck 1 lap down. That's who Matt would need to get ahead of in case the caution were to come out.
Barely squeezes up in front of Daniel Dye and behind Connor Jones.
Check that scoring pylon. Ty Majeski going to be highlighted in green. That's because he's won a race, locked into the next round. Not because he's on go today, but he is on go this afternoon from 22nd to 14th since we returned to the green flag.
That's him right in front of his teammate Ben Rhodes. Majeski in the 98. Bailey Curry pushing Ben Rhodes up off the corner. Now 3 wide with Tyler Ankrum, the 16 on the inside.
Dean Thompson trying to fill a hole there in that 5 truck. He's had a fast truck today. You could see up ahead, Majeski to the bottom, gets around the 15 of Gray.
He's now 12th, Michael. So he comes from the back, gets to 11th, has the problems on pit road at the end of the stage, restarts outside the top 20, and here he is looking at a position in the top 10, but Tanner Gray says, I'll come back by you in the 98.
Yeah, it looked like Ty was able to drive by Tanner fairly easily, and then Tanner fights back.
Tanner sees his brother up ahead in 7th. Taylor, he wants to go get some of that action. Oh, it's a hard angle to get off the corner.
Nice momentum for Majeski from the high side. Zane Smith will be the next guy on the hit list for Majeski.
What about our man Matt Crafton? He's driven inside the top 10. He's got a strong truck today, trying to take that 8th position away from Chase Purdy. He just gets better and better all day. Good run for Matt.
Yeah, Matt was outside the top 10 in that stage 1. Did not get any stage points.
Matt, the only driver in the field today that was racing here the last time we came to Milwaukee with the trucks in 2009. So let's look at the ages of all the playoff drivers and how old they were the last time we raced here. This is maybe the graphic of the afternoon.
Our leader, Corey Heim, was 6 years old. maybe starting 1st grade, possibly kindergarten.
He's just a baby.
Just a baby.
And Matt Crafton, 33 years of age, but man, still got pace. Just drives around Purdy up to the 8th position. This 88 truck is on it today.
Let's go back a few more years. Back in 1996 was Thor Sports' first ever race here in the Truck Series with Terry Cook. Been such a great addition to the sport. Duke and Rhonda Thorson, Matt Crafton, 3-time champion, always a playoff contender, Amanda.
And I'm so surprised to see him running in the black there in the corners. He said that is a no-go zone here this weekend. So maybe that the track is evolving to these trucks, but I think Matt's truck is also evolving to him in practice and in qualifying. He just said simply, we're terrible. So the adjustments have been made to keep Matt Crafton in this hunt.
I like what I'm seeing. Last time by, Amanda, he was the 3rd fastest truck, and he's battling there behind the 17 of Taylor Gray. That means if he can get around Gray, I think he might be the fastest truck on the track.
And one thing I've learned, never doubt Matt Crafton. We weren't sure he'd make it in the playoffs. He does, and now here he is making a rally one more time. Corey Heim, your race leader. We're going side by side. A nice little two-truck battle for the lead here at Milwaukee for the Craftsman Truck Series. Corey Heim won the race off pit road, ending stage 1. Had the top spot. Grant Enfinger, who dominated that opening stint of the race, is hung around, and he wants to go back on point. They're side by side coming off of turn 4.
Not able to clear Corey Heim. Grant really likes that outside, really got some good momentum from the outside. Now switches over to the inside.
That's fun to watch, isn't it? He's going way up the hill when he's running by himself. Now he's trying to pinch it down and make it work on the bottom. You can see that truck gets a little bit sideways there. The veteran that Grant is, he's not going to slide that rear tire too much. He's going to calm down, size him up again, and make another run at it.
And let's give some credit to Corey Heim. You touched on how good he's been lately. Today marks the 11th straight race where he's led laps this season. Just remarkable, the campaign he's put together first year full time.
In the last 10 races, averaging almost 50 points a race. 60 is the most points you can score, and he's averaged almost 50 points a race over that 10-race span.
Won the regular season championship after missing that race due to illness at St. Louis. Came into this race 47 points to the good when it comes to advancing. Obviously, if he wins today, he's locked in anyway, but I think he could do it on points. I mean, just remarkable what this guy has done this year.
I'm just really impressed with Grant today. He's had so much speed. We talked earlier about his success at St. Louis, and he thinks this track drives a lot like St. Louis. Well, Jeff Hensley and that team must have brought the same setup because it's handling like it did there as well.
I think Corey Heim has been alerted to the fact that Grant's been running a little higher. I think now he is moving up the racetrack a little bit more, and that's helping him. You see Grant's at least a half a truck with higher than Corey Heim right now. There's Majeski grabbing another spot from Chase Purdy. That moves Majeski up into the 10th spot.
Top 10 for the first time today after struggles all over the place, but a really fast number 98 truck.
You know, I've been watching Majeski over the last number of laps. He pulled up to Zane Smith, or got in position behind Zane Smith, and really hasn't been able to do anything with Zane. Zane moved on ahead of Chase Purdy. Zane right now in the 9th spot. That's him right in front of Majeski, but they've been matching lap for lap speed-wise.
Just ahead of him there, you see Crafton trying to get another spot. He's finally closed in on Taylor Gray. Here comes Majeski. All these trucks in the top 10.
To everybody, Majeski, these stage points so critical, especially for Matt Crafton right now in that battle for 7th with Gray.
Nice day for Tricon. You got Heim leading, Sawalich up there in 4th, and Taylor Gray, another rookie, in 7th right now, trying to hang on to that position with Matt Crafton behind him, and Heim's got company again. Another rally being mounted by Enfinger.
Heim's trying to hold on to that position as well.
I would like to say it's a bit of a surprise to see Sawalich up in the top 5, but it's not. Every time he gets behind the wheel of his trucks, he runs it in the top 10. This is definitely the strongest he's been. There you can see our pylon with the results so far, running positions of their 4 trucks.
I'm glad you didn't say that it's surprising what Sawalich is doing, because I made that mistake when we were racing at Richmond, and Phil quickly corrected me. Actually, I wish you would have done it so he would have corrected you as well. It took me a while to get my confidence back after that.
Boy, Grant all over the back of this 11 truck. You wonder if Grant could get by Corey Heim. Could he drive away?
I think definitely he drives away if he does.
There are only 18 laps to go in this stage. I think Grant would love to get that lead back, not only to get the playoff point and the stage points, but to come to pit road first and possibly have an advantage on pit road.
You want control, don't you? As a driver, you want control of the race.
Total control.
But we talked about the importance of track position and how big of a role pit road could play today, and that's what we're seeing right here. Heim was able to get the top spot off the pit lane from Enfinger, and that's why we have the battle in front of us that we do for the lead.
Right side of your screen, Crafton has been able to get by Taylor Gray. Now Taylor's going to fight back on the outside. Zane Smith is right behind this side-by-side battle.
What the heck happened there? Crafton drove around the inside of him, and just like nothing, Gray was able to pull to the outside. See if Matt slides up here or takes that groove away.
How about Grant trying to grab that lead back from Corey Heim?
He's going to do it.
I think he's got him clear to give Grant Enfinger the lead for a moment. Corey Heim's going to try to do the crossover, not going to be able to work.
Grant Enfinger started on the pole, led the first 60 laps. We talked about the exchange on pit road. Heim led the next 34, but Alabama's own Grant Enfinger is back on point at Milwaukee. 15 to go, stage 2. It's Enfinger, Heim, Eckes, Sawalich, and Sanchez, your top 5. Grant Enfinger leads at Milwaukee. 10 laps to go, stage 2. And the Clean Harbors 175. Second place right now, Corey Heim. He's 1 second in arrears. Let's update the top 2. We begin with Josh.
Yeah, Adam, and as you mentioned, Grant Enfinger, your leader again. And even when he was behind the 11, the team was telling him, hey, you're faster than the 11. He was patient. He tried several different lines, finally able to get around him. Once he did get around the 11, he came over the radio and said, hey, this truck is better than it was during the first run when he did win stage number 1. He said it was a little bit tight, but he feels good about what he's got, Amanda.
Josh, we've been talking about some of Corey Heim's stats this season. Well, I told him ahead of the race, the stat here at Milwaukee is that no driver has won here starting below the 8th position, and he just smiled at me and said, well, it's a good thing that I'm starting 8th, but he said the theme of the race here today is going to be saving tires. Maybe that was on display here when Grant made that pass.
You know, to that point, we have seen the long green flag run play out. We had an early caution stage 1, early caution stage 2. After that, it's been all about what you can do over the long haul.
Yeah, it's so important. Remember that number 34. That's how many laps Corey Heim led. That's how many laps it took Grant Enfinger to wrestle the lead away from after losing it on pit road to Corey Heim.
Matt DiBenedetto has been in the free pass position all of this whole stage, but that's getting ready to go away, Phil. This is a tough break. He needs a caution flag right now because, Josh, he's getting ready to be second in line to get the free pass. Tough day for this 25 truck.
Yeah, it's a tough day, and what a difference a day makes, because I talked to Matty D yesterday, and he felt really good about his truck. Told me he had a top 10 truck, told me maybe even a truck that could contend for a win. Then today, much different. That truck has been just way too tight. He's been battling with the throttle all day long, and he just can't push it the way he wants. And this is a guy that was telling me, hey, we don't need to be better than the rest of the field. It's just those playoff drivers. We need to be better than 2 of them over the next 2 races to advance to the next round. But he's not able to get what he wants out of this race today, guys.
Yeah, and right behind him, here comes trouble again. Put him 2 laps down. If Grant Enfinger can get there, it's going to be close, Phil.
A lot of the crew chiefs agreed with what Josh was saying, that was one of the best trucks yesterday. Don't know, maybe they have some sort of an issue, but as you mentioned, he certainly doesn't want that yellow truck behind him to get by him before the end of this stage.
9 of our 10 playoff drivers are 11th or better, and Matt is struggling.
And he came in below the playoff cut line, so not a ton of margin for error when you talk about that 25 team making a playoff for the very first time. Matt won last year in the postseason, but was not championship eligible. Got it done at Talladega Super Speedway. They've had a wonderful year, but unfortunately a bit behind when it comes to how things are going here this afternoon.
We see the 42 of Hocevar. He's taken over that 4th spot. We saw Sawalich in the 1 right side of your screen battling Christian Eckes for that spot. Eckes was able to drive away, and now Hocevar is coming up to try to grab that 3rd spot from Eckes.
Circle the 42. Good on the long run. Boy, a bit of a bobble there. That was tight.
Lemke in the 33. You could see the damage on the side of that truck. Got into the outside wall. NASCAR keeps it clean and green right now as Daniel Dye closes in the back of the 33.
Looks like he's okay. Looks like the tires are up, at least for now, for Lemke.
Look at the gap now for Enfinger. He'll see 3 laps to go in the stage. This time around, the advantage over 2 seconds. Heim almost 4, a little over 4 seconds in front of 3rd place Christian Eckes.
Haley Deegan there just ahead of Enfinger. She's the next truck to go a lap down.
Grant's going to move to the inside. 3 laps to go in this stage.
She and Connor Jones running along there. Man, he's fast, isn't he?
Woo, through the center of the corner. That truck has to be turning for him to be able to do that.
Update on our friend Ty Majeski after his up and down day. 2nd fastest truck last time by, and he's up to the 7th position.
We saw Grant running that extremely high line during the ARCA Menards race, and that was one of the reasons for him to run that ARCA Menards race. Had never been here before. What can he learn about this racetrack? He was the guy that ran the highest in that ARCA race, even though a little bit looser, a little bit of a bobble. But he's making it work here tonight, or this afternoon.
1 lap to go, 2nd stage. Enfinger won the 1st stage, trying to get a sweep for the 2nd time in his career. This for 3rd, Eckes and Hocevar.
Championship contenders here battling for a spot inside the top 3 here in stage 2 at Milwaukee. Look how high they're going. Must be getting the word from the spotters. Going up there.
Without a doubt. Grant's making it work, guys, and he's the fastest truck.
Get out the broom. Grant Enfinger came to play. Wins the pole, wins stage 1, and he takes stage 2 as well. Last time he pulled off the sweep of a pair of stages. Got to go back to 2019 when he delivered in St. Louis. Heim, who led the early portion of stage 2, was 2nd. Eckes, Hocevar, Sawalich, the top 5. A championship is on the line. The next step in our quest to the title today at the Milwaukee Mile.
my ass.
Welcome back to the Milwaukee Wild. Those Craftsman trucks are ready for their pit stops at the end of stage 2. You see Ty Majeski right there taking some fuel. He's not going to make any chassis adjustments to the truck. Feels that the truck is great in traffic, but what a day for the 98 to bounce back from what they have had. And then moving on over to the 38 of Zane Smith. Kind of been quiet here in the playoffs. Said that this season has felt like a grind, but this truck was as loose as it was in Richmond earlier today. They're working on finding some grip. Josh?
Impressive run so far for the one of William Sawalich. He said his biggest issue is getting too free, and he needs a little more drive off as far as the 19 of Christian Eckes. He said he needs more drive, needs more stability. He needs that truck similar to what he had at IRP. We had a runner-up finish, guys.
Eckes gets 2 spots, wins the race off pit road, and for the second straight time, Grant Enfinger leads, gets trapped in. He lost 3 spots this time, back to the 4th position.
Same thing happened to Majeski. Looked like a pretty solid pit stop. Then I think he was blocked in.
It looked like maybe Grant leading the race could have maybe stopped a little shorter in his box. You can see the angle he has right here. You see the Ford truck with the back end hanging out. When they finish the stop, there's nothing that Grant could do other than just back up.
But you saw the back of his truck. It was really at the back line. But you see the front of the Ford truck right at the front line. So small pit stops. I mean, small pit stalls at Milwaukee.
You know, when you're leading, maybe you just come in and angle out a little bit better. But like you said, Phil, small stalls, just a bad break.
Enfinger came into this race 24 points above the cut line, gets all 20 stage points available in the first 2 stages today. Heim with a good afternoon. Same for Eckes. Sanchez double digits when it comes to points scored. Hocevar got 12. Majeski and Crafton also scoring some points. The final stage on the way on FS1.
We're getting ready to see some crazy action.
Might get chewed up and spit out on this one.
That was a real nail biter. They're all over each other. What a great racetrack. What a great night this is.
For the first time since 2009, the Craftsman Truck Series racing at the Milwaukee Mile. It's race 2 in the playoffs. Chasing down the title in 2023 this afternoon. It's the Clean Harbors 175. Pit Road has been a busy place today. Could very well decide the outcome of this race.
It's been a challenge for the 98 of Ty Majeski. We saw what happened on the first end of the stage. Watch here. He takes off, goes forward. He's blocked in by Corey Heim. Has to stop, put in reverse, and then take off again. And he's going to restart 10th. I thought he had a pretty solid pit stop, and then he spent probably 4 or 5 seconds trying to get backed up so he can get around the 11 of Corey Heim.
Doubled up. He's on the outside in the 10th position. This is when you got to pounce, though, Phil. These guys get side by side, 3 and 4 wide, maybe. Try to grab some spots early. We've seen how difficult it is for even Grant, the fastest truck, to make a pass.
Enfinger led 79 laps today, 34 for Heim. Christian Eckes with the field in tow for the first time this afternoon. He has control of the race. He takes the outside lane. Hocevar to his inside. Here we go. Final stage at Milwaukee.
Hocevar's just been getting stronger and stronger all day up on the front row. He's going to be determined to get that lead off turn 2.
He's going to get it, too. He's going to clear Christian Eckes.
What a restart. 4th leader of the afternoon, Carson Hocevar, and a big mess behind him.
Look at Derek Kraus driving hard on the outside, right behind Majeski, who moves around, or trying to move around his teammate Ben Rhodes.
Give a shout out to Dean Thompson there in that 5 truck. He's joining this battle for a top 10 spot. This is the best Ben's been all day.
Look at Majeski going really wide, trying to move around the 15 of Tanner Gray.
That scoring pylon. And all the playoff drivers that find themselves in contention. If any of those drivers in the top 5 win today, automatically locked in to the round of 8.
How about Matt Crafton trying to drive around Ty Majeski?
It's been a great day for that 88 truck. He's proven that this truck can
Whoa,
contend.
look at Majeski way wide.
Almost down to the ballpark. Corey Heim around the high side of Crafton. A lot of action going on.
Majeski's truck just hasn't looked right since the restart.
If you're just joining us, Ty Majeski had problems in the inspection line. Had to start today's race in the rear. Had to make a pass-through penalty once we went under the green flag. Was able to get an early caution, stayed on the lead lap, drove it up to the 11th position, end of stage 1. Lost some track position on the pit lane, restarted stage 2, 22nd. Was able to drive it up to 7th, and once again they lost some spots on pit road. 11th right now is Majeski, who won at Indianapolis, and he's locked into the round of 8. Let's go to Amanda.
Adam, another mover today is Derek Kraus. He started 21st on track, currently in that 9th position. The Wisconsin native is making his 75th career start in the Truck Series today. His crew told him earlier, after telling him that he was happy with the track, hammer down. Are there better words to hear, gentlemen?
That's right. And he's doing just that. Made a lot of great moves after starting outside the top 20 and just been hammered down all day long. It's all about winning for this 7 truck.
So how much has that 88 truck of Matt Crafton improved? I think he finished about 18th at the end of the first stage. J-Rod has got that truck tuned up here a little bit.
And I like the line Matt's running. You got to go where they ain't. You know, everybody's running up high. He's trying to squeeze it to the bottom. He's making it work, but he's going to lose a spot after cutting low there in turn 2.
That's an Owensboro, Kentucky phrase, right?
Yeah.
Go where they ain't.
Yeah, you got to go where they ain't.
It's kind of like hit them where they ain't, right?
I think so.
Look at that. Really low.
Caution is out. 5th one of the afternoon.
Spencer Boyd, the 12 truck around.
Not any damage, it doesn't appear.
Well, major damage for sure.
It's deja vu, right? You have an early caution stage 1, you run to the finish of the stage. Early caution stage 2, run to the finish. Here we are, final stage, yellow flag early again for the 12.
I think Spencer was just by himself, it looked like. See the 22 of Joshua M do a nice job avoiding Spencer.
We'll step aside. Just over 50 laps to go. Carson Hocevar in charge at Milwaukee. Tonight, the NFL is back on Fox in the final week of the preseason as the Texans take on the Saints. Don't miss any of the action tonight on Fox, 8 o'clock Eastern time. That music, it just gets me going.
My Lions look pretty good against the Panthers.
It's the preseason, Bill.
Oh, no, okay.
Just hold your horses. Give us a month or two.
Did your Lions look good or did our Panthers look bad?
I prefer to think the Lions look good.
I'll let you two discuss that as we check in with Amanda.
Well, you're going to see a couple of Zane Smith crew members over the wall. The tires are on the wall as well. They were discussing whether they were going to make a pit stop here. We were hearing that they have called it off, but Zane relayed to his team, this is the worst truck I have ever had. I think something is broken in this thing.
Well, and guys, I just want to get you aware, you might have to throw a Hail Mary if you got a problem like that. We talked about the extra set of tires. Maybe you grab them and hope there's no more cautions. Just do something. I was listening to Chris Lawson, the crew chief for this team. He said, I'm not a good points racer. I like to win races, and that might mean you have to change things up. We'll have to follow along and see. I'm not surprised they considered it there. We'll have to see what they do.
And most of these teams have 2 sets of tires laying on pit road.
Looking at the points, Ty Majeski is in with his win at Indianapolis, and when I say in, I mean he's advanced to the round of 8. Carson Hocevar in position to advance now as the race leader. Heim at plus 62, Eckes plus 57, Infinger with a great day plus 46. All of those drivers feeling really good about themselves. 6 points separating Ben Rhodes and his teammate, the 3-time champion Matt Crafton at the cut line, and the driver that really has gone in the wrong direction today. We've talked a lot about him, Matt DiBenedetto, minus 28. You talk about throwing a Hail Mary. He might have to do that at Kansas in 2 weeks' time in the race that will end this round and decide who moves on.
Yeah, it's too late for this race. 2 laps down, never had a chance to get the free pass. He's right now mired back in the 27th spot, so it's going to be a bad day for Matt. But again, he can certainly go to Kansas and win that race and lock himself into that next round.
A couple of penalties here. 51 of Matt Mills, 43 of Daniel Dye. They start at the rear. Free pass under this, our 5th caution, goes to Haley Deegan. Restart, 46 to go. Hocevar, Eckes up front.
Remember how strong Hocevar was on that last restart. See if he can repeat. Took the lead down on the bottom when he restarted second. Last restart, takes the top this time and is able to hang on to the lead still.
Don't sleep on the rookie, Nick Sanchez. Been right there all day long and hanging in 3rd right now.
It's a snarling pack of trucks, isn't it? 3 wide.
How about Nick Sanchez going to grab that 2nd spot from Eckes?
Heard him talk earlier. He really liked what he felt in his truck yesterday during practice.
How about that 7 truck of Derek Kraus right now running in the 5th spot?
Put him up to the top 5. Corey Heim diving low looking for a spot.
Comes Ben Rhodes trying to get underneath the 15 of Tanner Gray.
And the bottom feeder, Matt Crafton, he's going to be 3 wide.
Oh, contact.
Ben Rhodes getting sideways. That was Tanner Gray that hit him coming off the corner.
Nice move avoiding that by Matt Crafton. I think he sensed there was something going on.
Is he going to grab 2 spots because of that?
Looks like he's going to. If he can clear the 15 of Tanner Gray, and he does.
Sawalich was there trying to take advantage as well in the 1.
Watch this mess. Ben Rhodes just not able to keep his truck off of the gray number 15.
It's actually red, white, and blue.
Is it bad? Is it bad that the next words out of my mouth were going to be, it's actually red, white, and blue?
I really got to watch what I say up here.
Majeski trying to get around Sawalich. It's a battle for the 10th spot. Majeski just has not had the strength. Through the center of the corner, look at, he just slides up to the high side. We saw that ever since the restart at the end of the stage. You can see where all the Thor Sport trucks are running, left side of your screen.
I'm not trying to be mean, but I would have lost the bet if you had asked me to pick who was going to be the best from Thor Sport today, and it had been Matt Crafton. I just would not have anticipated that. And we've talked about where he was yesterday in practice, where he qualified earlier today, but give him credit. He just does not go away.
I'm just not sure what went wrong for this 98 Majeski, whether they made an adjustment that took them the wrong way, or whether something's going on with that truck.
Currently outside the top 10, you see our fastest trucks are all in the top 5 right now. And this might be one of the best of them all.
That 7 truck you're talking about, right, Michael?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sawalich brings out our caution for the 6th time today.
Tough break. You see him moving around in the truck. Tough break for Sawalich, but this may be the time. We're going to have about 40 laps to go for that Hail Mary to come in and put some tires on. Even though we don't have that many laps on the tires. Only, what, about 20 laps on these tires.
And 25 trucks on the lead lap.
A lot of trucks on the lead lap for sure.
Yeah, we put a lot down in that first stage, around a lot of green flag laps, but since then there's been quite a few cautions putting more trucks back on the lead lap.
Just got a little bit loose inside of Ben Rhodes.
See what Ty Majeski saw here from his onboard camera.
Ben gave him plenty of room. He had the entire blacker part of the racetrack plus some of the gray part, and William just got a little bit loose.
Good day for William Sawalich. Won the ARCA race from the pole, but unfortunately in the wall here in the truck event, bringing out the caution. This reminder, help people affected by the Hawaii wildfires. Your donation enables the Red Cross to prepare for, respond to, and help people recover from these disasters. Go to redcross.org/FoxForward to help.
Devastation.
37 laps to go for the Craftsman Truck Series here at Milwaukee. It's race 2 in the playoffs of this opening round, and a bit of a strategy play here. We wondered, will they pit, will they won't? Split decision when you look at the drivers running up front.
I wouldn't call it a Hail Mary, but certainly differing agendas here, and that's because there's another set of tires laying there that some people might want later in this affair. But man, Phil, 26 trucks on the lead lap. That's a tall order if you pit really late. It's going to be really interesting because our leader, Carson Hocevar, stayed out along with Derek Kraus, Tanner Gray in that red, white, and blue truck.
We only had 12 green flag laps, so I think that's why Carson Hocevar says, well, you know, I think we can stay out, and obviously Phil Gould. But you see the 99 slowing down. That's because he was speeding on pit road. Tough break this late in the going for Ben Rhodes, one of our playoff contenders.
Lawless Allen got the free pass. 45 is scored in the 25th position. And you see the number of laps since these drivers were last on pit road. Now, we've talked about Hocevar, Kraus, Tanner Gray. They pitted at the end of stage 2. But behind them, Ankrum, Hangarani, Carruth, Deegan, they made a pit stop on that last caution. So their tires are a little bit better yet. And then obviously those drivers that just came down. And Christian Eckes, the first of that bunch, being shown 8th on our leaderboard.
This is going to get good. We've seen a lot of 3-wide racing. Probably going to see 4-wide now.
Will we have comers and goers?
I think it's going to be intense. I like the way the 42 restarts. I think that's going to be a big advantage to him if he's able to get out front while those guys with fresher tires all battle amongst each other. Could be what wins him the race with just 36 laps to go.
Clean air certainly doesn't hurt here, and he's going to have it more than likely. But that 7 truck of Derek Kraus, as far back as he started in this race, he made nice moves from the initial start. Now fought his way up into the top 5. Now going to restart on the inside of the front row.
In the second half of stage 1 and stage 2 had a green flag field. Will we get that here in the final stage?
I don't feel it.
A little more pushing and shoving, I think, now.
I would say.
I'm not feeling it at all, Adam.
We always say it. Cautions breed cautions. Restart 35 remaining. There goes Hocevar.
Raja going to try to make it through. Wyatt's going to lose some ground now.
Oh, there's contact in the back.
I don't know how they made it through that.
I saw some smoke.
Was that in finger in the middle of that?
He's now on the inside. Oh, there's trouble.
We get the answer to our question. Yes, there will be another caution.
No.
Tough break for a playoff contender, Nick Sanchez. He came down pit road, restarted right around the 10th position. The 2 is in the wall after having such a good stage 1, stage 2.
See the damage to the left front. If he can get that truck refired. He's trying to refire it right now.
It's going to go a lap down with all the other problems he's going to have. Won't start, I don't guess, Phil. Watch this mess.
He's on the outside of Ben Finger. Corey Heim is going to run it. He actually had to slow. Sanchez slowed for Haley Deegan, and Corey Heim ran in the back of him and turned him around.
Wow.
You see Nick was almost on the rear bumper of the 13 truck of Haley Deegan. And Corey Heim, I don't think, was expecting him to be that slow at that point. Watch this mess off of turn 2. I don't know how we made it through all of this. See Corey Heim squeezed into the outside wall by the 2 truck of Nick Sanchez.
You don't think that was a little payback, do you, Phil? I didn't think so when I first saw it.
I don't know. I think it was a combination of the 2 of Sanchez slowing because of the 13 of Haley Deegan.
Yeah, she had stayed out.
On a little bit older tires.
Long way to go in the playoffs. If that was payback, we could be putting a little rivalry together here.
I don't think there was any malicious intent right there at all. I really don't.
I don't think so either.
33 remaining at Milwaukee. Hocevar, Tanner Gray, Kraus, the top 3. Back in a moment on FS1. You know you're winning when you get to go back to Milwaukee in NASCAR. It's the playoffs, and you get a day like this. All sunshine, high temperature, 70 degrees. This is absolute perfection.
And a doubleheader.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of sweatshirts up in those grandstands today. There you see Sanchez on and off pit road.
He's been able to stay on the lead lap. Don't know how much damage that 2 truck has. Certainly made contact with the left side to the outside safer barrier.
Looks like he's going to be able to continue without too much problem.
Yeah, I think the key is if that steering wheel's still straight, if he didn't hit that left front tire too hard and the steering wheel's still straight, he might be able to pass some trucks.
Right now, he has shown 7 points above the playoff cut line. One of those drivers that's going to have to perform in 12 days when we head to the Heartland. It's the final race in the opening round, doing battle at Kansas. And after this night is complete, 2 of our championship contenders will be eliminated.
Love that racetrack at Kansas. I think that's one of the drivers' favorite racetracks now, the way it races. You can run from the bottom all the way to the top.
Just such a cool venue to head to Kansas. So much to do in that area.
They built a casino there for me. I mean, for people.
Friday, September 8th. All the coverage on FS1 begins 8 o'clock Eastern time.
See those lights go out on the safety truck? We're going to choose it up, Adam.
Ooh, look out.
Oh,
was that Eckes that almost hit the triangle there?
That was close. That red triangle is what these drivers have to avoid when they pick inside or out. This is so close.
Watch this white truck right here. The last second decides to go to the inside. Oh my good! By inches he missed that.
He scared it.
Yes, he did.
No harm, no foul there.
Eckes, the best of those drivers that came down and pitted at lap 137 for this restart. William Sawalich was a lap down after crashing moments ago. Gets the free pass. He's back on the lead lap, being scored in 26th.
What about Hangarani up in the top 5 here?
Great job.
Wow. See if he can hang on. He pitted on lap 113. Much fresher tires all over him.
You're 16 years old. You've never done this before. You got to run 2 races in one day. You might spend some time a lap down. Just go figure it out. And he has. Hocevar, Tanner Gray, front row. Restart comes 28 to go.
Nice push there by Derek Kraus on the 42.
Hangarani a little slow on the restart. Enfinger's going to jump to the high side, make it 3 wide.
Four wide.
Are you kidding me?
We knew that was coming.
And here comes Corey Heim, sticking his nose in turn 3.
Matt Crafton really fast around the bottom of the track. Can he clear the 61?
Enfinger knows how that 3rd lane works. He's been up there all day. He's going to stay up there, try to get around Ankrum, that 16 truck.
Eckes up to 4th. Mentioned he's on those fresher tires. Enfinger is as well, and he's beginning to rally as Hocevar pulls away with the race lead.
Enfinger loses a little bit of ground through the center of the corner, but he makes it up on momentum up off the corner from that high side. Trying to go around Tanner Gray now.
You see Tanner Gray working the wheel, just a little nudge there.
Tanner Gray said, "What do you mean he's on the outside of me? I was on the outside."
There's Eckes, the 19, Enfinger, the 23, side by side for 3rd.
And that might be the race for the win, only because they're on those fresher tires. Whoever establishes themselves here might be the front runner at the end. Enfinger gets the spot.
Regardless of what happens, we have to give a call to that 7 truck of Derek Kraus for the job he's done. Watch the wiggle by the 15 with the 23 of Enfinger right around the outside of him.
What about Tyler Ankrum up there battling inside the top 10? He's having a good day. There's that 16 truck with Corey Heim down to the bottom.
Corey's going to be able to clear the 15 of Tanner Gray as well. And here comes Majeski in that 98.
I was going to say, guess who's back? Ty Majeski. What a day it's been for this 98 truck.
Both Majeski and Heim, part of that group that came down pit road, got that fresh set of tires, lap 137. 25 laps to go.
With Carson Hocevar out front on those older tires, I don't think changing tires this late in the going is going to be able to work for some of these teams if they decide. We talk about the Hail Mary. If they decide to do that, if the caution comes out again, I don't see that working.
Yeah, I think our pitting is done for this race. Carson Hocevar is going to have to make do with about 20 lap older tires.
His best friend right now is Derek Kraus because he gives him a little bit of insulation, but that insurance policy is now gone because Enfinger gets around the 7, and now all he sees is clear racetrack between himself and reclaiming the top spot. How about that 42, Josh?
Yeah, guys, and Carson came over the radio a couple minutes ago during that caution and said based off of practice yesterday, he felt like the tires wear really fast, but after that they level out. So they feel really good about the tires, about the truck they had, and they valued the track possession. He said he didn't want to get caught up in quote-unquote the mess, which is why they didn't come down and pit Amanda.
Josh, I love Phil Parsons giving Derek Kraus a shout out here today. He is a driver that uses these performances to get noticed. We haven't seen Derek since Daytona, but he is a sim driver for Colleague and for Legacy, so he is a name that is known amongst the decision makers that matter.
Matt Crafton's a name we know, 3-time champion, charging inside the top 5, trying to get the 4th position away from Christian Eckes in that 19 truck. He does it.
It's amazing. We see Enfinger making so much ground up on the very outside of the racetrack, and Matt Crafton is right around the curb. He's going to try it again now. A little bit of crossover by Eckes, got that spot back for the moment.
Every position is a point. That's enormous for these playoff drivers to try to advance from the opening round to the round of 8. Carson Hocevar leading Grant Enfinger. It's down under half a second. The advantage for the 42 is we hit our Craftsman 20 to go at Milwaukee.
3-time winner this season, Carson Hocevar. 2-time winner, Grant Enfinger, in a great battle.
Either one of these drivers wins, they go to the round of 8.
They know they're going to see Ty Majeski. Here's this battle. Won't go away. Crafton around Kraus.
Eckes got that 3rd spot away from Kraus. Now Crafton grabs 4th.
This has got to make Matt Crafton so happy, being able to get up there and run in the top 5, battle for this win, running a different line completely than everybody else, which kind of reminds me of Matt Crafton. He likes to be an innovator.
We've seen him do that. We see carry to the win at Eldora one time, running a different line that everyone else was running.
I go back to that regular season finale when Hocevar came down that cycle of green flag pit stops, got the tires, and he was trying to run down Ty Majeski. That night he was on offense. Today he's playing defense, trying to hold off Grant Enfinger, who came down at lap 137, and he is on those fresher tires. And you see the points in the pylon. What a difference it makes to be out front here today. Right now Hocevar in a good position and just trying to hang on to advance.
Inside of 20 to go, as you said, Adam. Craftsman 20 to go. Things are going to get tight here for this win. I know that I don't see Hocevar giving up that high side. He knows how strong the 23 is up there.
I agree with you, Michael. I think if I'm Hocevar, I'm going to make him beat me on the bottom of the racetrack.
He is so fast, is that 23 truck. You think a dive bomb and a slide job might be heading our way?
I think without a doubt that's a possibility. If he even needs to do that. Look at that run through the center of the corner.
Here comes Grant Enfinger inside of Carson Hocevar. 16 laps to go. Can he finish the deal? And turns 1 and 2. Yes, he can. And he goes wide. Hocevar is back.
Too much of a slide job. Got in there too hard. He's going to lose. Oh, and he still stays side by side.
You got to like his commitment. Oh, there's going to be contact.
There was contact. Enfinger saves it, though. What a great save by Enfinger.
Hocevar did the same, but it nets out 23 back on top. 15 to go. Grant Enfinger, your leader again at Milwaukee.
Watch this left rear contact from Hocevar. Up the road goes Grant. hangs on to it and takes the lead.
I think Hocevar really thought Grant would run that third lane like he'd been doing, and Grant said, no, I'm going to go through the middle in the second lane. That's why they made contact, but a great save by Enfinger.
Both drivers have been outstanding today, combining to lead over 120 laps. And I thought once Enfinger got by, he'd start to pull away, but Hocevar is hanging in tough.
Grant may have just backed it down a little bit to try to save a little bit of tire in case he needs him, in case we get a late caution flag for a restart.
Hocevar certainly giving him all he's got. Maybe he's found a little bit of a different line.
13 to go for Enfinger.
See left side of your screen, top 5 all populated by playoff drivers.
Man, Grant's hanging on. There's Nick Sanchez. We saw him in that crash. He's rallied. He's been able to stay on the lead lap, pass a couple of trucks. He's in the 24th position. Just an update on one of our playoff racers.
Right now as they run, 3 points above the cut line for Sanchez.
Thank goodness he got all those stage points today.
Chase Purdy battling with Ty Majeski. What a day it's been for Majeski. He's running in 7th. Purdy's trying to grab that spot. Look at that handful of wheel he's got there, driving that baby.
Chase has really done a nice job, really a nice job all year long. Had a runner-up finish earlier this year for his career best.
First season, Kyle Busch Motorsports. Had a good year.
Oh, can he hold her down?
Oh, keep it down. Nice job staying off that side of Majeski.
That's when Majeski's got to decide, do I give this cat a little bit of extra room? He looks pretty determined. Oh.
No. No, we're going to continue the battle.
As these two race for 7th, 10 laps to go for our leader, Grant Enfinger. Started on the pole today, led every lap, won stage 1. Lost the lead in a pit exchange, came from behind, won stage 2. Various strategies have played out here in this final stage, but Grant Enfinger serving notice just how good he is. Got the lead back inside of 20 to go, and he's in charge with what will be 9 laps remaining.
How about this statement race for Matt Crafton?
Don't count me out. Remember Pocono, Phil?
I do. I was going to try to get there before you did. Yes, I do remember that.
We said Poco maybe. We thought maybe he could just advance into playoffs. He did just that, and like you said, what a great way to put it. A statement race. Don't count the old cat out yet.
Top 10's the last 2 races for Crafton. Right now running 5th, trying to grab that 4th spot from Corey Heim. Meanwhile, Enfinger's opened up about a 2nd lead over Hocevar.
Yeah, 10th better each of the last couple of 3 laps. You can see Hocevar way up the track, just trying anything he can to find a groove that will work for him to close in on our leader.
I have to believe that the decision to run that ARCA Menards race earlier today by Grant Enfinger has paid huge dividends for him.
How about the big news this week? GMS announces 2023 will be their last in the Craftsman Truck Series. You wonder what that would do to upset the apple cart, maybe take away the momentum. Enfinger told us today during qualifying, we're not backing down. They won the pole, and we are seeing in this race just how determined he and this race team are.
Not much of a letdown here for this bunch, is there?
When he comes around this time, it'll be 90 laps out front and only 6 to go to his 3rd win of 2023.
And what a way to go out if he could grab that championship for Maury Gallagher and GMS Racing in their final year in the Truck Series. Meant so much to the series here over the last 10 years or so.
We know
2 driver championships.
And we know Grant Enfinger will be back in the trucks next year. He'll get a quality ride.
We know Jeff Hensley, his crew chief, will be back in the Truck Series. One of the very best we've had here in the series.
You want to smile, just go talk to him about a race car, a race vehicle, a truck. It doesn't matter. That man right there knows every inch of not only that truck, but the strategy, the tracks. He's just been there and done that. What a wonderful crew chief is Jeff Hensley.
Was a former driver as well. He and I both started running late model Sportsman at the same time. He went on to decide to give up the steering wheel and grab the wrenches and be a crew chief for a number of years.
We talked about who was here the last time the trucks raced in Milwaukee 2009.
He was here.
He was here. Yes, he was. 4 to go for his driver, Grant Enfinger.
Right now, all he's thinking is, please don't spin somebody out.
Look at this, 3 wide. Are you kidding me? Purdy, Kraus, Majeski.
Battle for 6th right there, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Purdy has it for the moment. Looks like he's going to be able to. Is he going to clear Majeski? No.
Oh. How do they battle like that without wrecking one another? That was so close.
I wouldn't tell Grant Enfinger about this.
But unfortunately, Jeff Hensley is watching this.
Yes. There it is. Squeezed up nicely.
Great job, Chase Purdy, to grab that 6th spot.
3 remaining.
Great work by our camera folks catching this great battle. Grant Enfinger put about a 1.5 seconds over Carson Hocevar. He's on cruise control. He just wants to make it one more time back around and see that white flag.
I was just going to say that. You want to get to the white because you know then the next caution ends the race. Next flag would end it, whether it be the caution or the checkers.
Got to hold his breath for about 5 more seconds till he sees that white flag.
Some lap traffic in front of him. That won't matter. White flag is out. 1 to go for Grant Enfinger at Milwaukee.
Christian Eckes is right on the tailgate of Carson Hocevar in that battle for 2nd, right behind this leader. Now it's separated a little bit now.
There's that battle, but watch the momentum. Eckes gets off the corner, closes right up toward the back of the 42 truck.
What a day for Grant Enfinger. Wins the pole, wins both stages, going to lead 96 laps. He hits him right between the eyes, gets his 3rd win of the year. Grant Enfinger delivers at Milwaukee. Hocevar gets 2nd. 3rd for Eckes. Corey Heim led laps, finishes 4th. And quite the day for Matt Crafton. Top 5 for the 3-time champion.
What a performance by this champion team.
And their championship hopes stay alive. Winning today locks Grant Enfinger in to the round of 8. Both he and Majeski locked in. Will move on.
We're hearing that Corey Heim also has clinched a spot, and Christian Eckes. So we already have 4 of our round of 8 drivers already locked in.
Matt Crafton made a climb from out of the basement up into contention to put himself in a position to transfer into our next round.
Hocevar 2nd, now plus 56 in a really good position, plus 29 for Zane Smith, although he did not have a great day. Very comfortable as we go to the race that will end this round. Kansas happens in 12 days.
What do you think? We take care of this truck and don't do too crazy of a burnout? Could this be our Phoenix truck?
I'd love to think we would run into Phoenix.
10 wins for Grant Enfinger in his career. They've come at 10 different racetracks. Add Milwaukee to the list. He got it done today.